Everyone is freaked out about this ex post on a $4,600 monthly payment for a $450,000 purchase in Texas. And before you swear off buying your next, let's break down the real numbers and why his cost analysis does not make any sense. Okay, let me give you some context about this ex post, which was reposted by Wall Street Apes. This guy and his wife went and got a pre approval for a $450,000 home. And the gist of it is they're going to put down 5%. The monthly payment, everything included, tax, insurance, mortgage interest, totaled 4636. Okay, he was mad and he was freaking out. And on top of that, he did a quick calculation. The total cost to own that home after 30 years, after paying back the principal, it's $1,668,000. Okay, let's just call it 1.6 million. But does that really make sense? What does this number really tell you? I'm going to break it down. First of all, why is his monthly payment so high? This is the conclusion I got. Is with a 5% down, he's looking at a very high property tax rate in Texas, which doesn't surprise me because Texas does not have income tax. So their property tax is much higher. And also homeowners insurance, holy mackerel, think about the hailstorm, the flooding, the tornadoes. It's probably very expensive for the homeowners insurance in Texas. And on top of that, when you have a 5% down with a 95% LTV, so I did an assumption, assumed higher tax rate, higher home insurance, and a low credit score. He's getting close to about 4,600. So my numbers are close. If you put this in California, you're going to see a different number. 450,000 purchase price. In California, the property tax is about 1.25%. Home insurance 0.35%. Let's assume also your credit score about 700. You're looking about 3,600 a month. That's about $1,000 difference. What I'm trying to tell you is just because he said it's 4,600 is largely dependent on many things. Your state, let's be even more specific, your county's specific property taxes, your homeowner's insurance rate, and also your LTV and your credit score. So don't just look at that 4,600. In reality, for example, in California, you're looking at much cheaper monthly payment. But does that mean I want other people from Texas to move to California? Well, if you want to pay a highest marginal California state income tax rate, feel free to move. Now, before I go to my next rebuttal, I understand the sentiment, right? I understand everything is getting really expensive, but let me tell you something. When I bought my home, I was paying 7.65% on my first mortgage. And I also had a second. I did 10% down, 80-10 piggyback. My second mortgage is 9.85. So historically, I'm looking at the rate between 6.75 to 7% right now. It is not that high. The only reason everybody thought this rate is so high is because COVID made this almost seem like an anomaly. In reality, the COVID rate of 3%, 2.7% is an anomaly in historic sense. That has made people's expectations of interest rates so much more different than what it should be. Let's take a look at the 30-year analysis. Key 30-year cost analysis is strictly looking at if you were to own that mortgage for 30 years, there is no appreciation, there is no equity buildup, meaning the principal pay down. He ignored the tax benefits. He also assumed he's going to be paying the mortgage insurance forever. None of these are true. In reality, first-time buyers will sell their home or move up within 5 to 7 years. If we were to do a more reasonable analysis, you will take the cost of owning to cost of renting. Now, let's take a look at that. Let's say he's going to be staying in that house for 5 years. I'm actually going to do a PITI plus all the repairs and maintenance, which I budget about 1% of the purchase price. Okay. And there's also mortgage insurance, but it will drop off after 3 years based on a historical appreciation of about 5 to 5.5% for taxes. I also put in the assumption that he will refi after 3 years when he has achieved a 20% equity. So the total paid over that 5-year period is close to $297,000. I also did a quick calculation. Conservatively, his tax benefits is about $6,500 over a 5-year period. It could be actually higher because I assume his incomes are going to grow over a 5-year period and the effective tax rate is going to be higher as well. Equity gained, that will include appreciation, and also the pay down of the principal is 194,000. So the net cost is about 1,600 a month versus renting at 2,000 a month. So there you go. I think this is more reasonable compared to if you just look at pure math of calculating 30 years and everything what the monthly cost is, because that just is not true. What about the emotional factors, right? They're also the things that you cannot put a price on: stability, control, pride of ownership, sense of belonging, and also legacy. I think it's priceless. So what I'm trying to say is just looking at a viral post doesn't tell the true story. You have to really understand, figure out what is best for you. And to be honest with you, the person who he did a pre-approval is one of those vendors truly just did a piece of paper without explaining to him what that meant. Pre-approval is the maximum you can buy. That doesn't mean is the actual amount you're going to buy, right? There's affordability problem here versus the pre-approval. And I said it many times over, make sure you pick the amount that you feel good about. So in his case, he was so mad. You know what you should do? Dial it down. The first home is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be your last home either. And people miss the point. I understand the affordability is an issue, and I'm not disputing that. But at the same time, if you wait, you lose the appreciation. You have to pay a higher price. And if you wait, that train is going to just pass you by. What people don't realize is for the last 40 years, homeowners have enjoyed tremendous equity growth. And that's one of the biggest equity net worth builders of any investments. Don't just look at one post or argue things that don't really matter. Think about the real cost of owning a home versus real cost of renting. And then you can decide, is this what I want or this is not what I want? Until you have that analysis, until you have that conversation, don't just get too emotional. And the numbers don't tell the whole story. I hope you like this analysis. I would love for you to give me a comment. Let me know what you think. Sometimes it's hardly black and white or just the rate. And if you like this content, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching.